It's been a massive year. A horrible year. A heinous, intolerable, soul-slapping, dream-ending 12 months. This is Sammy J's 2020 arse-crunching dumpster fire spectacular. All rise. The Right Honourable God presiding.
Right. Today's case. The world versus the year 2020. This ought to be quick. 2020. You stand accused of being the worst year in the history of humanity. And I lived through 2001. Dr. Dolittle too. What were they thinking? Oh, and September 11. I mean, overall, terrible year. But not as bad as you. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honour.
You're kidding, right? Yeah, nah, you're cooked, buddy. So let's wrap this up quick, sticks. I have Canasta with Sean Connery at 2 p.m. By the power vested in me, being as I am God, I hereby find you guilty and sentence you to spend the rest of your day...
Sorry, don't I have a right to counsel?
Oh, no. No. Oh, you're serious? And who's going to represent you?
I will.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Damn it! I knew I shouldn't have let her in.
Your Honour, I put it to you that 2020 is innocent, and we will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this year inherited all its worst bits from 2019.
Yeah, exactly. You remember January? I turned up for my first day and half of Australia was on fire.
Your Honour, we submit into evidence Exhibit A.
Welcome back. You're watching Wake Up Australia. And it's been a big summer for Mother Nature, hasn't it, Gary?
That's right, Kat. The country has been devastated by fires, floods and drought recently. And if you're anything like me, you've probably been asking yourself, is this the end of the world?
Well, I hope not. Maths has just started. But seriously, the end of the world. And to add fuel to the fire, the government looks set to shelve its much-vaunted surplus to fund the response to these natural disasters.
It does feel like it's getting harder and harder to deny that climate change is real.
So to help us all with our climate change denier tips and tricks, it's our very own resident expert, Scotty Tape. Or, as you probably know him, the barefoot denier. Scotty, welcome.
Great to be here.
Scotty, now tell us, how did you come up with the concept of the barefoot denier?
Yeah, well, I've been working as a climate denier for a few years, helping others achieve their climate denier goals. And what I found was a lot of people really wanted to deny climate change, but they just didn't know where to start. Well,
let's have a look at your book, Scotty, because what I love about it is it really is a simple step-by-step guide to climate denialism that absolutely anybody can engage with.
Yeah, it's mainly just common sense, but I do lay it all out step by step, starting with the basics, like how to open a news limited account, right through to the more complex stuff, like using emissions credits to claim you're on track to meet your Paris targets.
Or pushing back your 2030 emission targets to 2050, like Labor have done.
Exactly. See, a lot of people don't realise this. Even when you claim to accept climate change, you can still find sneaky little ways to avoid taking immediate action.
Now, Scotty, some people have really tried to undermine your barefoot denialism with things like facts.
Well, that's the thing about facts. You can use them to prove anything, can't you? But as Jim Molan said on Q&A, you don't have to rely on them. People forget this all the time. If a fact falls in the woods and those woods catch fire due to unprecedented temperatures and no one does anything to avoid it happening again, did the fact really happen?
Facts are tricky.
Good point. Scotty, what would you say to the people that are sitting home today and watching this and thinking, I'd like to be a climate denier, but I'm not sure where to begin?
Well, I'd say they're in luck, because I've got 3 hot tips to give them the confidence to walk into Parliament brandishing a lump of coal without any sense of irony whatsoever.
Well, Scotty, talk us through them.
OK. Number 1, blame the Greens. Blaming the fires on the Greens is a really simple way to kickstart your climate denial dream.
And it doesn't matter that they're not actually in government?
That's what I like to call an NIF, or not important fact.
Fantastic. I'm going to use that at school pickup.
OK, number 2, don't go outside. Going outside or reading scientific journals or generally engaging with the outside world in any meaningful way can provide a really nasty reminder of the impact of climate change, so I'd definitely try and avoid that wherever possible.
And number 3?
Invest in property in Alice Springs. That way, if all else fails and sea levels start rising, at least you'll have a nice little waterfront property portfolio to fall back on.
Scotty Tape, excellent advice. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
Stay cool.
He makes it sound so easy, doesn't he? Well, coming up next, Veronica, with all the latest fashion tips on how to turn that old smoke mask into this season's must-have coronavirus mask.
Can't wait for that.
Don't go away. You're watching Wake Up Australia.
Yeah, OK, I'll give him a mulligan for the bushfire. But come on, coronavirus? That went batshit crazy. Literally. And that batshit's on you, 2020.
Objection!
On what grounds?
Overruled!
I'm the judge.
Sustained!
What in my name is happening here?
Your Honour, my client is simply proving that we all lost our minds a little this year. Like when the entire planet ran out of toilet paper.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Had to wipe my ass with a cloud. Storm cloud. That's where thunder comes from.
The year was 2020, early March or thereabouts, off the back of quite a summer plagued by bushfires and droughts. So the nation was exhausted, many folks weren't thinking straight, which goes some way towards explaining #toilet paper gate. It started with a virus. Some say China was the donor. They called it COVID-19, but we called it my corona. And we saw the illness spreading and the cruise ships quarantined, and we sanitised our fingers as we lined up to be screened. And then in amongst the panic, someone headed down to Coles and loaded up their trolley full of toilet paper rolls. We'll never know who did it, what their motive was or why, or what brand of roll they hoarded. Was it scented or two-ply? All we know is in that moment, when they took it from the shelf, they unleashed a chain reaction as a nation shat itself. Now, we've faced wars and cyclones, we've survived them all as one. But a toilet paper shortage? Well, it made us come undone. For the people started hoarding all the last remaining sheets. There were punch-ons in the aisles, there was panic in the streets. "Me crack's in need of wiping," someone cried in desperation. What else can I bloody use to solve this situation? Some stooped to using gum leaves, others left it on the floor. Many wiped with plastic bags and returned them to the store, while others rocked on the veranda with a shotgun fully manned. To protect their precious stock, they'd rather die than use their hand. And the cheeky bidet owners, with their derrieres unhurt, well, they rented out their bathrooms, $20 for a squirt. But the greatest single irony throughout this sordid farce, you get corona in your nose and lungs, not shooting out your ass. So we'll never know, when faced with a pandemic-level slaughter, why we spent our cash on poo tickets instead of food and water. Because history will tell you how the virus was contained, but the rush on toilet paper, that can never be explained. And I wonder if the Anzacs were infected by some jerks who'd fight over a dunny roll instead of fighting Turks. Because it seems to me it could just be a true blue Aussie trait to panic in a crisis and steal bog roll from your mates.
Bit of shush. Good evening. Following a team review of Captain ScoMo's address to the fans 2 nights ago, there was a feeling amongst the coaching staff and club officials that perhaps ScoMo's advice was a little unclear. So, as a result, the club thought it best that I come here tonight as coach to address the nation and clarify a few things about how fans should conduct themselves in light of this terrible global pandemic that is infecting our game. First of all, can I start by saying people need to treat this seriously, okay? I can't be any clearer about this. You must stay inside, unless you are a child going to school or you need a haircut. The haircuts are fine, but only for half an hour. Now, the club doctor has been very specific that the virus kicks in at the 31st minute. Okay, this fight is going to be ugly, but it doesn't mean we have to be. So if we're going to cop it, I want us to be the best groomed nation in the ICU. Right, weddings. Weddings are restricted to 5 people. I'm sorry about that. This will be painful for some, but those are the rules. if you want to have more than 5 people, you could perhaps tell the priest it's a funeral, in which case we'll allow 10 people, not including the corpse. Or you could hold your wedding at the hairdresser, in which case, as you know, invite as many people as you want, but only for half an hour, as I've previously stated. I cannot be clearer about this. Got to stay hydrated. Right, jobs. Jobs are essential. If you can work from home, please do, unless you are a teacher or a nurse or you have a job, in which case it is essential and you should go to work. But please try to travel in via an open-air food court. Only get takeaway and do not stop at a real estate auction or at a beauty salon on the way. Am I making myself clear? Now, it is important that I let you all know that bar is no longer allowed. What's bar? How do you pronounce it? Barre. What's that? It's like ballet. We'll just call it ballet. Don't make it more difficult than it has to be. In fact, as of midnight tomorrow, all words that I cannot pronounce are no longer essential and therefore banned. This is how serious we are. Okay, other things that I can't pronounce do include espresso coffee, okay, not on. Antarctica, just call it the South Pole, move on. Isthmus is too hard, just say it's an island connecting with a landmass. Girls named Siobhan, dead set. You'd think there'd be a V in there, but it's spelt Siobhan. I'm sorry, but girls named Siobhan are no longer essential. I cannot be any clearer. Turning now to a list of things that are allowed. Schools, still allowed in some states. Unless you accidentally call your teacher mum, that's not allowed. You can still go for a walk, but if you trip over and look behind you as if it's the pavement's fault, that's not allowed. Takeaway or delivery, still allowed. Not tipping your Uber Eats delivery guy, even though he's just trudged through a corona-infested world to deliver your meal, yeah, that's still allowed. It's the Aussie way. Not paying teachers and nurses what they're worth, still allowed. Now, just to be clear, shopping centres will stay open, unless your birth date falls on a water sign in the zodiac, or you can recite the poem The Man from Ironbark from memory on the way to school or from a funeral, and only if you are a hairdresser or within 1.5 metres of a hairdresser. I cannot make this any clearer. I mean, I really wish I could, but here we are. So in summary, together as a club, we can do this. Be more Australian or be a hairdresser. Choice is yours. Good hustle.
Okay, so just to bring me up to speed here, 2020, it's April, you've locked down most of the world, there's a raging pandemic, but some people are more worried about their hair?
Well, to be honest, people just needed any excuse to leave the house.
And why was that?
Homeschool.
Hi, my name's Jack. This is my dad. He's getting ready for another day of homeschooling.
Good morning, class. Welcome to Dad's School. I'm your teacher, Mr. Dad.
Well, I'm actually an accounts manager, but we all have to do our bit while the schools are closed. And just because my kids are learning from home doesn't mean I can't still give them the full school experience.
Look both ways.
Mr. Dad works really hard. Some days he's the principal.
Jack to the principal's office. Jack to the principal's office.
Some days he's a substitute teacher.
Well, let's just have some fun today.
Or Vicky, who runs the tuck shop.
Okay, we've got nut-free, gluten-free, dairy-free and flavour-free.
Or the school bully.
Oi! My dad can beat your dad at karate.
You are my dad. To be honest, sometimes I feel like we don't get as much work done as real school.
Okay, Year 4 Maths, vertical addition. 689 plus 567. Oh, is that the bell? Yeah, we'll call that lunchtime.
I'm not sure that Mr. Dad knows what lunch is.
Okay, history. Oh, that's the bell. Lunchtime again. Religion. Lunch.
Okay, science. And today we'll be learning how water can transform from a liquid to a solid by watching Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 back to back.
Yay! Yay!
And that should take us through to lunchtime number 5. Yeah, it has been a bit harder than I thought it would be.
Please, please just do your work and I will let you watch Lego Masters.
Sunday and Monday night?
Fine.
But his actual school teacher has been a great support.
So, Mrs. Franklin, what time do you normally start drinking on a school day? 10 a.m? 11? Or never? That's a shame.
Eventually, it's time for parent-teacher interviews.
Now, I would like to talk about Jack's progress. He appears to be struggling. Is everything all right at home? Yeah? Why do you ask? What's he been saying about me?
My dad is really amazing. He even has time to do his real job.
Well, I'm sorry, Stephen. I need 3 cartons dispatched from the warehouse by 5 o'clock or it'll be your ass on the line. Do I look like I'm joking? Teachers only! Of course it's been challenging. You know, it's certainly given me newfound respect for the work that teachers do, but I just keep reminding myself in 10 or 20 years we're going to look back and think, wow, you know, I got to spend every day with my own child, learning, bonding, sharing those special moments. It really has been a magical time.
Please reopen the schools. Us kids are doing fine, but I'm a bit worried about the parents.
Sorry I'm late. Okay, COVID-19 team hustle. We all here?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah.
ScoMo, can you hear us, mate?
ScoMo, we can't hear you, mate. I think you got the mute
Click
on.
the
Mute
microphone
off.
button.
We can't hear you.
Let's kick off without him. It's fine. Okay, item number 1. When can we end this lockdown? It's killing us.
Yeah, I agree. We need to get fans back in the stadium.
Yeah, with all due respect, in my medical opinion, it's way...
ScoMo, we've lost ScoMo.
Oh, yeah. Looks like he's back in black. Okay. Sorry, Trev, you're giving us an injury update?
Yeah, well, we've currently got close to 7,000 fans infected, but the daily rate's going down.
Oh, ScoMo's back.
Yep.
There he is. No, sorry, go on, Trev. I'm listening.
Well, I was just saying that the best medical advice I can give you at the moment is... Sorry, guys, I've just got someone at the door. Give us a sec.
Coach, while I've got you, I need to brief you on the new tracing app for coronavirus.
Oh, yeah, what's that all about?
It's like a player tracker, but for the fans. Once they download it to their phones, we know who has the virus.
What, so we're spying on everyone?
No, it's more like we know the whereabouts of every fan, who they've been in contact with, who they talk to, every minute of every day. Forever.
So it's like shopping on Amazon?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, who's in charge of running it?
Stuart Roberts.
Sorry, Stuart, I'm responsible for the Centrelink website crapping itself, Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe get the guys who ran the census to help him out.
That's why you're the coach.
Oh no, ScoMo's figured out how to change his background. ScoMo, stay with us, mate.
ScoMo, this is serious.
Oh no, he's gone to Hawaii. Not Hawaii, come home, son. Don't do it to yourself, mate.
Guys, it's simple. I'm going to lay out the solution, okay? We need to reopen the schools and flatten the elderly.
Sorry, Trev, you're dropping out there. Did you say we have to flatten the elderly?
No.
Is that your medical opinion?
No, why would we flatten... No, I said protect the elderly.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense.
Guys, I'm sorry, we need to keep this lockdown going for another 2 months minimum.
2 months?
Yeah.
No, the club won't survive that long.
Well, look, the important thing to remember is that we are all in this together.
Well, unless you're a casual worker.
Okay, the important thing to remember is we are almost all in this together.
Or you work in the arts.
A sizable proportion of us are all in this together.
Or your Virgin Airlines.
Okay, I'm sorry, Trev. I don't know if you've noticed, mate, but the club's been a little bit busy lately reversing capitalism, okay? And given that we won the last premiership by promising nothing, we are now in very grave danger of going down in history as a club that did something. And we are all going to have to live with that shame.
Okay. 2-month lockdown it is.
Everyone's still good for toilet paper?
Yeah, I'm fine. Got 700 pages of it right here. Okay, well, I officially declare this team hustle... Oh, you're already gone. Yeah, radio. See you, ScoMo.
Here we go. This is good.
Look, I've seen a lot of plagues in my time. Spanish flu, Black Plague, that U2 album that nobody asked for. What was it called again?
Songs of Innocence?
Hardly. Hey, what's the difference between me and Bono?
What?
I don't think I'm Bono. Shut up. Anyway, that was the past. These are modern times. Surely your client had some modern solutions.
Well, I assume he had some sort of giant virus-killing supercomputers. Yeah? Some robot vaccinators?
We made an app. COVID safe.
An app that would save millions, stop the virus in its tracks. And please, tell the court, how many unique contacts did this app trace?
17.
17 million. Did you hear that? 17 million lives saved.
No, 17.
17 people?
Yep.
And how much did that cost?
$70 million.
Hey, don't look at me. You wanted to represent him.
This song goes out to anyone who's ever let love slip through their fingers. I know she's out there. We spent 15 minutes chatting on a train. I was trying to keep my distance all the same, but she got off without telling me her name. To be honest, it was a little difficult to ask. Our faces were both covered by a mask. Now I drink hand sanitizer from a flask. Then it hit me like a lightning bolt as I arrived back home. I left the COVID tracing app running on my phone. And maybe it could help to reunite me with my queen. All I gotta do to find her is contract COVID-19. So I'll always keep my Bluetooth on for you. I don't know your name, or where you're going to, but I won't be such a loner when I get me some corona, and the government will lead me back to you. So for days now, I've been licking every doorknob that I see, shaking hands with strangers in the street, getting right up close when I buy groceries. Party. Tom Hanks was there, I kissed him on the lips. Then I headed down to Bondi for a dip. I even tried to board the Ruby Princess ship. And people say this COVID app is storing all your data, but if it helps me find you, I'm prepared to be a martyr, 'cause I'll always keep my Bluetooth on for you. AZO, I know you're listening, so please give me a clue, 'cause when COVID comes a-calling, to your heart I can go crawling. With my tracing app, it brings me back to you. And all my friends are telling me the privacy is crap, that it's safer getting Rona than downloading this app. But I'm already on Google, Facebook, Tinder, and I tweet. Hell, Uber knows exactly where I go and what I eat, yeah! Now I'm lying in the ICU, and I can hardly wait for them to come and give it to me straight, and let me trace my contacts from that date. 'Cause I'll always keep my Bluetooth on for you, and if I don't survive this, it was worth it anywho. After months of isolation, guess my final destination was a tracing app that led me back to you. I'm so glad I kept my Bluetooth on for you.
Good song, crap result. Okay, so just checking my notes here. Other than bringing the entire planet to its medical knees, did you do anything good this year?
Yes. Yes. My client oversaw an international Black Lives Matter movement that became a seminal moment in race relations.
Yeah, Yeah, like I pretty much solved racism.
Yeah, that's not quite how it happened.
Roll the tape!
Hi everyone, my name's Stephen and I am a well-meaning white person. It's been one day since I posted something online to end racism.
Thank you, Stephen. As a white person, that must have been really easy for you to say out loud.
Sorry to interrupt. I also helped end racism online. I posted a black square on Instagram.
Brave.
Thanks for sharing. Oh, you don't have to raise your hand. It's a safe space. Is there something you'd like to add?
I purchased a piece of Indigenous artwork.
And how did that make you feel?
Good, yeah. Part of the solution.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Renee, and I am a well-meaning white politician. Look, I'm here because I fell off the bandwagon. It's been 2 hours since I appeared on television speaking on behalf of Australia's Indigenous community about how Australia's Indigenous community needs a voice.
Stay strong.
And you?
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Greg. I'm a well-meaning Rio Tinto executive. It's been 4 days since I blew up a 46,000-year-old historic cultural site. I said sorry, though.
Oh. Well, I also walked across the bridge in the Sorry March in 2000. So.
I didn't walk in that march, but I'm really sorry about that, so I'm probably the most sorry person here.
OK, how about we get back to the group discussion?
Sorry.
Right. Well, I thought we could talk about those well-meaning feelings and turning them into more tangible actions. From where I sit...
I actually, forgot. I know all the words to From Little Things, Big Things Grow.
Oh, that's a great song.
Right, let's change the topic. Who can tell me the name of the man who was killed by police in Minneapolis?
George Floyd.
OK, good. And who can tell me the name of the last Indigenous person to die in custody in Australia? Come on, guys, it shouldn't be this hard. We've had 437 deaths since 1991. Can you name one person? OK, how about you tell me one tangible sacrifice you've made to improve race relations in Australia?
I didn't boo Adam Goods.
I stopped listening to Triple J's Hottest 100 on Australia Day.
I didn't blow up Uluru.
Listen, guys, the gap between black and white in this country has complex causes and it requires a complex response. Being well-meaning isn't going to cut it. We have to match that meaning with action, and it starts with you.
That was really powerful. Do you mind if I post that?
Yeah, tag me.
Will do. Hey, Gary?
Yeah, mate. Oh, come on, Jono.
What?
Social distancing. 1.5 centimetres.
Sorry.
Better.
Why is there an angry mob of protesters booing us?
They're not booing us, they're booing the statue.
Oh. What did the statue do?
Well, it's not what he did, it's what he represents.
Public funded art?
No, an old white dude who harboured outdated attitudes on race, equality and colonisation.
Oh. So what do you think?
It's political correctness gone mad! Statues should be respected! I mean, this guy's a national hero!
Yeah.
You can't just tear him down!
I'm outraged. Sorry, what did he do again?
He was a monster.
So why did they build a statue of him?
No, you didn't let me finish. He was a monster of the seas, bravely exploring uncharted territory.
Oh, well, that sounds all right.
Before playing a major role in the decimation of an ancient culture.
Oh. So it's about perspective.
No, Jono, you hippie. We had a system. Man does something great, then he dies. We agree not to talk about the bad bits. We erect a statue. We ignore the statue. It was a good system.
It was a very good system.
It was a good system.
Very good system.
Good system.
Duck!
Oh, g'day, Mick.
No, not Mick the duck. Duck! They're throwing paint.
Whoa! Oh, I mean, how is anybody going to learn about history if they don't erect a statue?
They could read about it in a book.
Nobody reads books. In fact, we need more statues of books. If we had more book statues, we'd remember to read more books.
Gary, they're putting rope around the statue.
Oh, great, just what I need. One less place to perch. These people have no respect for the bird life of this city.
Well, there's a great statue in Burke Street Mall to sit on.
Mate, that's not a statue. It's a busker pretending to be a statue.
Really?
Yeah.
But I've been defecating on him daily. He doesn't flinch.
3 years at NIDA.
Oh, so he's used to being shat on.
Yep.
They're pulling it down.
Get out of it!
But maybe it's time to change.
No, it's a bloody tradition. My dad shat on this shoulder. And his dad shat on this shoulder.
You're right, Gary. Maybe they don't have to pull us down. Maybe they should just build another statue instead.
What, another statue of a racist bloke?
No, maybe a statue of the bloke the racist bloke was being racist to. That way, history is told in full.
Well, as long as we get another statue to crap on, I'm fine.
What about a statue of me?
You can't be a statue.
Why not?
Are you a dead white guy?
No.
Then you can't be a statue.
That's not fair.
Mate, life's not fair. Look at Winston Churchill. The man wins World War II, then 75 years later gets labelled a racist.
Was he a racist?
Yeah, sure, he was a bit of a racist. But it was the 1940s. Even the Greens were racist in the 40s. Plus, have you heard about the guy Churchill defeated? King of the racists.
Wow. They must have a huge statue for that guy.
They took it down.
Typical.
Political correctness gone mad.
No wonder they've forgotten his name. Hey, you sure know a lot about Churchill. Did you see his statue?
No, I read it in a book.
Here we go!
Hang on, we've got wings.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's all well and good, but it's time to talk about Victoria. What the hell happened down there?
Well,
You don't have to answer that.
no, I can take this. So there was a hotel quarantine system set up and basically private security guards were employed, but here's the kicker. Nobody knows who made the decision, despite an extended judicial inquiry set up.
My client is exercising his right to silence.
You're very good.
Good afternoon, sir. Leaving Victoria, are we?
That's right, yeah.
As you're attempting to cross from Victoria into New South Wales today, I'll be conducting an RVT.
RVT?
That's right, sir. Random Victorian test. We're making sure that none of these Victorians are trying to sneak across the border.
Victorians, huh? How bad are we? I mean, they. Because I'm definitely not a Victorian.
Is that a beret?
No.
Blow into this, sir. Says here you had a single origin almond latte this morning.
I did, officer, but I didn't enjoy it, I swear.
I'm going to need to see your licence. Is that the Bondi Vet?
No.
And you're still living at 10 Opera House Street, Sydney?
Yep.
Who's your next of kin in New South Wales?
Alf Stewart?
Alf Stewart from Home and Away.
Yep. Well, he's not my real dad, he's my foster dad.
OK, sir. I just need to ask you a few questions to see if you really are from New South Wales, OK? Firstly, what school did you go to?
St. Real Estates of the Holy Investment Property?
You're kidding me. I went to the same one.
No way.
Yeah, good old St. Real Estates forever, right?
What are the chances?
Oh, look, sorry about the formalities, but I do need to ask you what you're planning to do once you get back into New South Wales.
Sure. I just thought I'd catch a ferry to the Green Mountains.
Blue Mountains?
Yeah, those ones. Then I'll spend a couple of days in traffic, gamble at my local pub and king hit someone in the cross. You know, just an average day for us New South Welshmen.
Is that a keep cup?
No.
Step out of the car, sir.
Do I have to?
Well, you can always go to Adelaide instead.
Okay, I'm getting out. Gee, it's warm, isn't it?
Not really. Now, I need you to walk in a straight line without saying that Daniel Andrews is the greatest premier in the country.
Okay. I can't do it. He's just such a strong leader.
Mate, you're not very good at this, are you? But because you went to St Real Estates, I'm going to give you one more chance, OK? Answer these questions and I'll let you through.
Okay.
Who's the Premier of New South Wales?
Alan Jones.
I'll allow it. Do you want to see some live theatre? It's a trick question. Sydney has no culture.
Of course.
Who held the 2000 Olympic Games?
Ooh. I know Melbourne had them in 1956. I think that was the last time they were here. It was the best games ever, too.
Arrogant. I like it. Very Sydney. You've passed the test. Let's go.
What are you doing?
Mate, I'm actually Victorian. I was just dressed up like a cop so I could find a New South Welshman to get me across the border, and you're clearly from New South Wales. Let's go. Yes.
Hello, I'm Sammy. I'm going to build an aged care home today. Do you want to join me? Now, first of all, we need to decide if we want to make it public or private. Well, I do want to look after Grandma and Grandpa, but I also want to make money. You're right. Let's go private. Now, what should we use to build our private aged care home? I've got this shoebox here. It's a bit small, but that's okay. We can just remove all these registered nurses, staff to resident ratios and pesky industry standards. Don't need those. Right, let's get building. First, we need some wallpaper. Now, I could use this nice floral pattern, or I could use the interim report of the Royal Commission into Aged Care. Go on, grab your copy. Taking out a page and cutting it up now. Make sure the cuts go nice and deep. Cut over several decades if you want. And grab some glue. And sticking it down now. Make sure you really glue it down. We want these recommendations to stick. Which bits are you using? I've got diminishes the nation. Although, in their defence, this was written during a global pandemic. Oh, no, hang on, it was written in October 2019. Can you spell utterly foreseeable outcome? Now, what else do we need? Of course, someone to look after Grandma and Grandpa. This is average aged care worker. As you can see, she's statistically female, comes from a minority background, and is prepared to work for $23 an hour. That's less than a retail assistant. Lucky me! Oh no, she's got a nasty bug on her. Quick, let's send her off to one of the other 3 nursing homes she's forced to work at because of the $23 an hour thing. Looks like the bugs spread everywhere. And what do we do when industries fail to self-regulate? Well, we ask the government for a bailout. But which government should we ask? I'll only solve it if it's a funding issue, but I need funding to solve the health issue. I reject the premise of your question. I reject the premise of your face. Federalism. Right, we need answers. I think we should speak to the Aged Care Minister, Richard Colbeck. Richard, how many active cases are currently in aged care?
Sorry, I don't have any numbers with me. I'm just a balloon.
Have you ever been put in charge of a portfolio at a crucial time in human history and then spectacularly failed to rise to the occasion? Oh, he's walked away again. And I don't blame him. It's hard looking after Grandma and Grandpa. Who would have thought a system that prioritised profits over standards of care could ever go wrong? But I think we've all learned that no matter what, it's important to look after the most vulnerable members of our community, the shareholders. Bye-bye.
Okay, I won't lie. Things are looking grim here, buddy.
Well, I don't care what you think. It's what future generations will say that counts.
Oh, sounds like a segue.
You'll like this one.
Oh.
When this is over, when real life resumes, when we emerge from our COVID cocoons and the curtains come up and the stadiums fill and the years roll on by and keep rolling until our kids all have kids and we're sitting alone in a privately funded retirement home and the little ones visit and we tell them tales of lockdowns and borders and how we prevailed. But what will we say when our grandchildren ask us, were you an asshole back then? They'll say, did you freak out? Did you steal toilet paper? Did you break the curfew to sleep with your neighbour? Did you dismiss it as just like the flu? Or claim JobKeeper money that wasn't for you? And when cases were spiralling out of your reach, did you tell folks the truth? Or suggest they drink bleach? Yeah, what will we say when our grandchildren ask us, were you an asshole back then? Did you rip off your mask hoping you'd get arrested? Did you have a sore throat but refuse to get tested? Or play AFL in a quarantine hub, then sneak out for kebabs at a Gold Coast strip club? And we've all been assholes at times in our lives. It's the human condition, it's how we survive. And of course we deny it, what else can we do? But time will reveal if the asshole was you. So what will we say when our grandchildren ask us, did you put yourself first and to hell with community? Saying let people die, let's achieve herd immunity. Or if you had questions about how we were led, did you ask them to help people out? Or instead did you look at the horror unfolding that year and think, what a great chance to advance my career? Yeah, what will we say when our grandchildren ask us what it was like in the day? Will we say when they want to know how everybody behaved? Will we say when our grandchildren ask us, Granddaddy, were you an asshole back then?
Good evening, Australia. Do not adjust your television sets, for I have taken control of your airwaves to deliver an important message from the former state of Victoria, or as it is now known, the People's Republic of Hookturnistan. Hooky, hooky, hooky!
Latte, latte, latte.
As you know, President Andrews, in his benevolence, has again provided proof of his infinite wisdom and unending love for his people by extending our glorious, honour-bound lockdown. Here in Hookturnistan, our roadmap to recovery has been driven by science. And yes, it is a long road. More of a back road, really. Bumpy, full of potholes, but that's what you get when you get a road designed by doctors. They are not civil engineers. But based on the advice of our Chief Beret Officer, this is the only path available to us if we want to spend Christmas paying too much for an Eggs Benny served up in a laneway by a 25-year-old in a faux leather smock. Hooky!
Latte!
So my message to you, the people of Australia, who say we are all in this together, as you go out to restaurants to see friends, is this: do not pity us.
Yes, there will be no school this year. Luckily, we have the smartest kids in the world. Our preps read at a year 8 level and wipe their asses with your NAPLAN results. Hooky!
Latte!
And did you hear President Dan, in his infinite mercy, is letting us stay up for 1 extra hour? We are big boys and big girls. By October 24, after 108 days, we will lay claim to being the most locked down city in the world. See? We are number 1 again. To my fellow Hook Turnistanis, remember, we are a proud people. This lockdown will not break us. We will endure, for we are...
Dad, I need help with my
Not
schoolwork.
now, Daddy's doing a revolutionary broadcast, okay? If it's long division, ask your mother. To ScoMo and his confused National Cabinet bus metaphor, we say, screw your bus. We ride trams here. But we do have to learn to live with the virus, and I know we can do this. We have lived with Sam Newman for years. We had a chance to stop him decades ago, but we didn't act fast enough. Now he is everywhere. We cannot take that chance with this wicked virus. Australia, we know you need us back real bad. We heard your crybaby treasurer admit that we used to make up 25% of your economy. So if you want us back, we have one simple demand. Tell Queensland to give us back the AFL Grand Final. We've been through so much already. Don't make us watch an AFL Grand Final played in the sunshine. The sunshine.
Dad, where's the iPad?
Not now! Daddy is very emotional. If we do not have an answer to our demand by 6 p.m. tomorrow, we will consider this an act of war. And if you even think about taking the Melbourne Cup, well, let me just say, we've shut down the Masked Singer once, and we'll do it again. So if you want to know who the bushranger is, then you will do what we say. Hooky!
Latte!
We will emerge from this health crisis united, emboldened, and fully caffeinated. Hook Turner stand forever!
Hooky!
Latte!
This is a disaster. I'm going to need something to work with here. Something positive. A glimmer of hope. What about a budget surplus?
All great architecture is, in some sense, a promise. A promise made in the present to the future. And that's exactly what Australian couple Josh and Scotty are seeking to achieve with their new home. Welcome to Grouse Designs. Scotty, with a background in marketing, and her husband Josh, a local accountant, have built a successful marriage. But now they're hoping to build something even greater, an Australian budget house. Well, here we are. How's it coming along?
Well, it's getting there.
One day at a time.
It's quite an ambitious plan, Scotty.
It is, but you gotta have a go to get a go. Isn't that what I always say, love?
You do, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be our legacy.
The Australian budget house is a sprawling architectural design. On the first floor, the house opens up into a huge mining boom, which sits alongside a sparkling services sector. Underpinning it all is a controversial flat income tax structure, which leads to Josh and Scotty's piece de resistance, the surplus room. And they plan to deliver this by May.
Yeah, not sure how we're going to make the deadline. I mean, claiming it's already come in under budget before we've built it, that's different.
Well, it's been 10 months since I last visited Scotty and Josh, and since then we've had a global pandemic, so I'm keen to see if this has had an adverse effect on the project. Now, I'm going to be honest, I thought we'd be further ahead by now.
Yeah, well, we hit a few roadblocks, you know, it's a tough build. Bushfires, we ran out of toilet paper. Oh, and we found a fiscal cliff in the backyard, which means no trip to Hawaii for us this year.
And the surplus room?
We had to scrap the surplus room. Well, the council wouldn't approve it.
But you'll still be finished by May?
Yeah.
The project deadline has arrived, so I'm heading back to see the Australian budget house in its finished state.
On time.
Yeah, but you told me.
Doesn't look like much has changed.
Me.
How can you just lose and then find $60 billion?
I don't know. Why did you just run off to your national cabinet? Huh?
Oh, you leave my national cabinet out of this.
Turns out the stumps were made entirely out of hopes and dreams, so they've, pretty much disintegrated. But we've put in some JobKeeper beams to keep things structurally sound. It should only need them for a few months, though.
Look, we're going to keep the JobKeeper beams in place. And over the next few months, we'll start taking them out and save some money.
Oh, if you do that, the roof will fall in, you idiot.
Well, I'm not the one who wanted the debt ceiling.
With the project now 5 months overdue, I'm starting to wonder if the Australian budget house will ever be completed.
Yeah, nah, not good. It's a real mess. Now they want me to put in a granny flat. Like, aged care was never part of the plan.
So we're not finished?
No. But because of our sound economic management, we believe we're still the team to deliver it.
One day.
And can I ask you how much you went over?
$1 trillion.
Promises can be tricky. If you keep them, you're a hero. If you break them, you look like a charlatan. But despite missing their deadline and going over budget, Scotty and Josh have been clever in the way they've justified their expenses and in the process created something bold and lasting. Something that hasn't been seen around these parts for 30 years. A recession. Well, welcome to the US Presidential Election Cup, and what a year it's been for America. With voter suppression, rioting and court rulings, it really is the nation that stops a race. Let's have a look at the field. First up, Fox News. Trainer Rupert Murdoch was always going to field this workhorse. He'll start in gate 1, out on the far right. Look for him to stay in the background and control the field from there. Next up, the reigning champion, the Donald. What a magnificent horse, a tremendous horse. Nobody knows more about being a horse than the Donald. In gate 3, it's Sleepy Joe. He's the oldest horse to ever compete in this race. Stablemate to former champion stallion, Yes We Can. He was destined for the glue factory, but now a clear front runner. In gate 4, COVID, the Chinese mare. Look out for her, she's been a threat all year, as has a global recession in gate 5. Postal votes will jump from gate 6 and could determine the outcome of this race. Gate 7, hopes and dreams are unlikely to feature strongly. Same goes for climate crisis in gate 8. In gate 9, Supreme Court, a controversial late entry 6 days out. And in gate 10, the possibility of civil war. The old mare Democracy is still in contention, but she will be ridden heavily by controversial obese jockey Electoral College. And rounding out the field are Open Warfare, Dr. Fauci, and It's a Shit Show. And they're boxed and ready. I don't know if that was a starter pistol or an armed rioter in Philadelphia. It doesn't matter because they are off and racing. Hopes and dreams in a good position early. So too Democracy. Just back from Democracy is the Donald and COVID going stride for stride. And Sleepy Joe is still bunkered down in his gate. A bizarre tactic from the veteran. No, wait, he's now on his way. Further back in the pack, It's a Shit Show with a global recession, climate crisis and the possibility of civil war. Just behind them, Dr. Fauci is in a losing battle with COVID. And a couple of lengths back is postal votes being undermined. And at the rear, Open Warfare. As we enter the first debate, the Donald has bucked his Republican jockey, trying to rein him in. He's bucked him right off, and all of a sudden, Sleepy Joe is looking strong and dependable without doing anything particularly inspiring. Dr. Fauci is trying to get on top of COVID now, but the Donald is in the way. He has ditched his bridle mid-race. He's refusing to wear anything on his face. Bold move, but it's working. The Donald is catching up to COVID. Catching. The Donald has caught COVID. Now it's a shit show getting near them both. Dr. Fauci tries to slip past the Donald, but Open Warfare gets in the way. It's open warfare between Dr. Fauci and the Donald now. Incredible stuff. And back in the pack now, we have Supreme Court blocking postal votes with support from Fox News. The Donald is rallying hard, and they are all ganging up on Democracy. Oh no, Democracy has taken a nasty fall. The Electoral College is riding Democracy hard into the ground. It's literally flogging a dead horse as they turn into the second and last debate. COVID. That's all anybody is talking about. It's rounding the corner, but it's not slowing down as predicted. If anything, it's accelerating
accelerating. Sleepy Joe is slipping away. Wait a second, I don't believe it. A former champion has entered the race. Yes, we can. He's pushing Sleepy Joe toward the finish line, but it's the Donald making a late charge, leading the Supreme Court into the home straight, followed by the possibility of civil war. Fox News just behind them, almost willing them home. COVID is spreading the field. That'll encourage a global recession. Hopes and dreams have dropped off badly, as has climate crisis, who I'd forgotten about completely. Postal Votes is making a late charge, but will it get there on time? There's only seconds left. It's Sleepy Joe and the Donald. They're neck and neck. The Donald is claiming victory before he's crossed the finish line. Sleepy Joe being a little more cautious, but either way, it doesn't matter because it's a shit show. He's first past the post. That's right, it's a shit show. It's the clear winner in the US Presidential Cup. Congratulations to its owner, 2020, and the whole team behind It's a Shit Show. Oh, and news just in. Sadly, democracy has broken down and will need to be euthanized. Children, look away. Thanks for joining us. What an unfulfilling race. See you again in 4 years.
All right, that's it. I'm done. RBG, do you have anything else to add before I put this jerk away?
Nope. Throw the heavenly book at him.
Right. I hereby condemn you to the annals of history.
Annals.
I meant what I said. A life of eternal damnation. Forced to always be 1.5 metres away from any loved one. Always having to scan a bloody QR code on your phone when you visit a cafe. And whenever you start speaking, someone will reply, I think you're on mute. In short, I'm sentencing you to be 2020 forever!
Recount!
What?
I demand a recount.
Can he do that?
Technically he can.
And if he wins?
He becomes 2021 and we do it all over again.
I swear this year can't get any worse.
Hold my eggnog. Isn't this a Christmas special? How about a song? 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow.
I am so sorry.
You literally just ruined Christmas.
Well, I mean, it's very on brand.
See you next year.
Oh, you really decked me in the halls.
Quite you.